Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Grow Through It podcast. My name is Julia, and today I want to talk about something I know we all struggle with: time management and staying consistent with habits. We all have the same amount of time in a day, but how we use that time makes all the difference. I used to really struggle with productivity and time management. Sometimes I still procrastinate, but I've gotten so much better at simplifying my habits and finding ways to make it easier. This has helped my productivity so much, and I am so much more consistent, and I have better peace of mind now. So why is time management something so many people struggle with? It's not that we don't have time, it's that we often don't plan or prioritize intentionally. Planning really is key. We think we will find the time for a workout or meal prep, but if we don't intentionally plan ahead, it probably won't happen. Time doesn't just appear. We make time by planning ahead. I've heard so many people talk about how they just don't have time for things, but that's really not true. Like I said, everyone has the same 24 hours in a day. It's all about how you use that time. Planning is the first step, and I'll get into more hacks later on. But what about the people that know they have time, they just don't want to do it? Sometimes we think time management is just about being organized or disciplined, but it's actually so much more about our mindset. Sometimes it's not that we don't have time, it's that we procrastinate or we're waiting to feel motivated before we take action. Procrastination often comes from overwhelm. When a task feels really daunting, our brains look for something easier. This could be scrolling on your phone, checking your emails, or walking to the fridge for a snack. These things give you a quick dopamine hit, which your body craves. So it's not that you're lazy or you're avoiding discomfort, it just feels overwhelming in the moment. Then once we finish the task, we realize it wasn't so bad, right? Have you guys seen that girl on TikTok who times herself doing tasks she's been procrastinating? They usually take like 5 to 10 minutes. But I've definitely been there and still struggle with procrastination. I remember in school, every single assignment would be done the night before. And I got very good marks on them, so I knew how to do them. I would just always wait until the last minute because that's when I worked the best. But procrastination is not very efficient and it's stressful. Breaking things into small, actionable steps helps so much. Instead of saying you're going to meal prep for the whole week, just say that you're going to wash and chop the veggies, or make 2 to 3 meals. Once you start the task, motivation follows. Motivation is rarely the first thing that happens, action is. We always wait for motivation to magically appear, but it usually shows up after we start. The momentum of actually doing the thing creates motivation, not the other way around. So even if you don't feel like it, just start with something small. Put on your shoes, open your calendar, or make a smoothie. That little bit of action shifts your energy. This idea applies to everything, whether it's workouts, meal prep, or even starting a new project. I've used this example before. When I used to go for runs, I would say, okay, I'm just going to run until the bridge. Then I would get past the bridge and be motivated enough to say, okay, I can go for a little more. I'll start walking once I'm at the bench. And I would keep doing this until I felt I really had to stop. Same thing on the treadmill. I'd say, okay, I'll just do 15 minutes. But that 15 minutes would end up being 30 to 45 minutes because once I started, I was motivated to keep going. Perfectionism and overthinking waste time too. Both of these things I have and still struggle with. I am much better now, but I used to think I needed the perfect plan before I started. But it just keeps you stuck. We don't need to do everything perfectly. We just need to start and adjust along the way. Nothing will ever be perfect, especially at the very beginning. Once you understand why you procrastinate, you can start setting up systems that make it easier to follow through. Let's get into how to make habits easier, because that truly is the key to consistency. You want to make it as easy as possible for yourself. So here are some things I do or recommend to make your habits feel easier and more manageable. Number 1 is meal prepping. I hear people say things like, what should I have for dinner tonight? And it stresses me out so much. If I did not plan my meals ahead and meal prep, I guarantee I would be eating really unhealthy, spending a lot of unnecessary money, and ordering a lot of skip the dishes. Instead of starting from scratch every night, prep a few days ahead. This saves time and helps you eat way better. I know some people meal prep for the entire week, but that's a bit too much for me. So I meal prep for 3 days at a time, and that means I only have to cook twice a week. I meal prep on Sundays for Monday to Wednesday, and I meal prep on either Wednesday or Thursday for Thursday to Saturday. Sunday is kind of my flex day where I just eat leftover food from the week, but this is still planned out. I promise you, you will eat so much cleaner, spend way less money, and feel so much less stressed if you do this. Number 2 is digital support. This goes along with meal prepping for me. I used to spend a really long time searching for recipes and making my meal plan for the week. I always found it hard to find recipes that suited my dietary restrictions. I'd also spend a lot of time entering everything into MyFitnessPal. Now I use ChatGPT to plan my meals and create my grocery lists. It saves me so much time and energy, so I can spend more time actually making the meals and less time planning them. I have told ChatGPT that I eat gluten, dairy, and nut-free and want to focus on anti-inflammatory, low histamine, high protein, and prioritize fiber. I also told it how many calories I want to eat in a day and my protein goal. It saves that in its memory. Then each week, I tell it what I already have in my fridge or pantry, which saves money, if I'm craving something specific, if I'm on my period, or anything else I want it to know. Then it creates my meal plan for me. I can ask it to change anything I don't want to have, or if I really like a recipe, I'll say that so it adds it again. Then it creates a grocery list for me and divides it into categories so it makes shopping easier. I know some people have mixed feelings about ChatGPT, but in my opinion, this is such a great way to use this tool. And it only takes like 5 minutes instead of an hour or 2. Number 3 is scheduling. I put everything into my calendar. My workouts, when I'm meal prepping, when I'm recording my podcast, when I'm getting groceries, everything. I treat these things like an appointment. If it's in my calendar, it's happening and I can't cancel it. Sometimes things need to be rearranged, but I don't cancel unless I'm sick. Even if I am sick, I still get my priorities done, maybe not my workout, but the essentials. And for the most part, I don't rearrange unless I absolutely have to. Number 4 is visual cues. Putting out your workout clothes and shoes the night before can be extremely helpful. Fill your water bottle. Put your book on your nightstand. Put your journal on your desk for the morning. These things make it easier to follow through. Same thing goes for when you meal prep. If you see the meals in your fridge already made, it's so much easier to just grab them and not worry about what you're going to eat. When I was doing 75 hard, I was also traveling a lot for work. I had to plan everything. My meals, my workouts, my reading. I set reminders on my phone to take pictures of myself. One of the main reasons I was successful was because I planned ahead. This taught me how to do that in day-to-day life too. If I don't plan ahead, it probably won't get done. If there's a period of time where I really need to lock in, I will also set up little challenges for myself. So similar to 75 hard, I have a habit tracker that I post on my wall. I put it right above my desk so I can see it every day. This helps keep me accountable because it's right in front of my face. I really can't ignore it. So for example, I just recently put another one up because I really want to focus on eating well and losing a little bit of weight before Christmas. So for this habit tracker, I have exercise daily, physio exercises daily, eating healthy, no alcohol, reading 10 pages of a book, and meditation and journaling. So it's very similar to the 75 hard aspects, but a little more chill, and it's not as long. It also helps because Paul can see this too because it's in our room. So it makes me even more accountable because someone else can see it. And then each day I have to check off the box under those categories to make sure I'm staying on track. It's also so important to put your goals first. If we are constantly saying yes to people, plans, or opportunities, we are often at the same time saying no to our own goals. It's okay to say no to things that don't align with what you want long term. I recently got the app Bumble BFF to make some new like-minded friends. Sometimes I catch myself feeling guilty for saying no to certain plans that they want to do, but then I realize that it's something I genuinely don't want to do, so why would I say yes to it just to make someone else happy? Especially if that person is a stranger. I've been asked to go to a bar or to a party, but that just doesn't align with what I want right now. Don't get me wrong, I love to go out and have fun every once in a while, but it's not very often that I do this because it doesn't align with my goals. I have to put myself first. It's also, of course, important to make sacrifices sometimes for friends and family. You also have to show up as a good friend or family member. But you don't have to say yes every single time. Be more selective about what you say yes to. Doing this has helped me prioritize my own goals and has completely changed my energy levels and mood. I used to say yes to everything so people wouldn't be upset with me. But it was during 75 Hard where I really couldn't do that anymore. I had to say no to things and I felt way better. I learned to stand up for myself and make me a priority. When you plan ahead and create structure, you're not just saving time, you're protecting your peace and lowering stress. That's a huge part of wellness that people overlook. It's not just about the physical or achieving your goals, but it also helps with your mental health. So ask yourself, what are you saying yes to that's actually pulling you away from your goals and making you even more stressed out? Now, if you're thinking this all sounds very restrictive and boring, it's really not. It's self-respect, and it will actually make you feel better and get to your goals much faster. It could also sound overwhelming to you right now, but once it's a habit, it's easy. The first few weeks take effort, but then some things will become automatic. Think of it like brushing your teeth. Once it's part of your routine, it's weird not to do it. It's like my greens drink. I never used to have it before I discovered it. Once I started, though, I probably skipped a few days here and there, but now I automatically start making it as soon as I go into the kitchen in the morning, and it's something I don't even think about anymore because it's a habit for me now. Start small with this. What is one new thing you can do today? Can you prep your lunch for tomorrow? Do 10 minutes of stretching before bed? Get your workout clothes out for tomorrow morning? Don't overwhelm yourself by starting 10 new things at once. Just go one at a time and slowly add in more. Other productivity hacks you can do is batch your tasks. So this is where you do all your errands in one trip instead of spreading them all out. You can set phone boundaries, so no scrolling in the morning, or set timers for social media. You can plan your week ahead on Sundays, review your schedule, workouts, and meals. You can use timers to focus in short bursts. I used to do this when I was in college. If I needed to study or do an assignment, I'd set timers where I would have to work while the timer was running, and then I could take a break when it ended. I also love using the Habit app. It's literally just called Habit, and I've talked about it before. I check things off as I go. This helps me feel so much more productive and keeps me on track with my goals. You can also declutter your space. Less chaos physically means more mental clarity. I don't know about you, but when the house is a mess, I feel so stressed and almost claustrophobic. But when it's clean, I feel motivated and calm. Remember, time management isn't about being perfect. It's about creating systems that support the person you're becoming. You don't need to make a million changes overnight. Start with one small thing this week that makes your life a little easier. Whatever that is, take note about how much lighter your week feels. It truly will make such a difference. So, to sum it up, time management really comes down to planning ahead, removing friction, and putting your goals first. The easier you make it for yourself, the more consistent you'll be. That is it for today's episode. I hope it helped you learn some time management and productivity hacks that will make your life easier. If you have any questions, feel free to DM me on Instagram at growthroughit.pod or use the link in the show notes to anonymously ask questions or suggest future topic ideas. If you enjoyed this episode, I would be so grateful if you would rate, review, follow, or subscribe to this podcast and share it with someone you think would benefit from it. Thank you so much for listening, and remember that you are worthy. See you next time.